All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back here to close out this week, this Friday, pre-Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day in advance, of course, to all of us here, and my gratitude, of course, to of course, any of our former military members, ex-military, ex-armed forces. But great to have all of us back inside our live trading room. Leda, Bill, Margaret, Jeff, and all of us just otherwise. I see Genevieve still here, Brian, Sam, Kathleen, Johnny, Douglas, Chuck, Wendy, all of our students here inside our live trading room. All of us back on social media, though, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. So with that in mind, I'll tell you what, we have a pretty interesting afternoon ahead as far as trading goes. If you are not joining us in class, and if you're just trading here in the room, then it should be a good afternoon heading into the close. So we'll see if the markets continue to squeeze up a little bit higher. It has been a good day to try and buy a dip. GameStop hasn't really dipped. It's actually up 5% from yesterday's closing price. So this has been a pretty healthy trade from the end of last week, or from the last couple of days, I should say, before I get ahead of myself. But GameStop, though, I know Fausto jumped into yesterday and looking for the potential pop, having to do with Bitcoin. Their CEO, big Bitcoin fan, and I think the company's going to look to invest a lot of money into it. The big Bitcoin conference is next week, so we'll see what happens then. But it's up at the highs right now. It's still holding over support pretty well. It took a while to kind of move off of it, but otherwise, I'm going to put this on our watch list just to start. GameStop. Don't get too caught up ahead, though, as far as like it's definitely going to pop, just because that one roaring kitty squeeze that we had all those years back. So it will happen. Just it's a matter of kind of just reacting to the chart. So we have a good lead on this trade to begin. If it breaks higher, even better. We'll see how it closes. But if this ends up just crashing suddenly, if the markets hold and this just kind of drops, I would be a little careful, right? Always just take it level by level. Now, what we'll do, though, quickly, because we do have class on ahead this room, and just closing up shop for the day for you, because I'd rather have your focus just as a student in the class with us. So what we'll do is go from top to bottom here for any of our members otherwise, and we'll build up our watch list. If you're not a student yet, we do suggest for you to join us just over time, but this will be a good day of trading here. So IMNN. This ended up running up earlier in pre-market. It just died off afterwards, though. So not much really to it, though, since we talked about this part, at least in class earlier today. So just to go over it here briefly. Don't mind the Bitcoin graph here, too. Kind of sandwiched in between. Try not to mind that. But, this stock trading 344 million shares plus total on the day today. I normally trade maybe just like 100,000 shares a day. So whatever news came out, it's actually kind of holding here, but it's just exhausted. Most stocks that don't trade this type of volume, and when they trade it, start flattening out, becomes a waste of time. So what happened here? Nice little pop just right now. This thing just took off like a rocket in the last couple minutes. Okay, what's this? HAO? Spread's not terribly big. I mean, for a cheap stock, it actually is pretty big. But if you can get a couple of larger orders out there on the bid, especially, and as well as the S2 to create resistance, I'm going to come back to this. It's like only on a really low float. So for right now, I'll even come back to it, not fully committed to it, but looks interesting. SBET pushed up earlier here, came back up a little bit more, but as well kind of shaken back down. So we'll get to the nuclear trades, right? Because, hey, if you were listening into earlier, we posted the link to it actually inside the general discussion tab inside our live trading room. But, Trump ended up signing a bunch of different executive orders towards reactors, nuclear, blah, 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 right? I just said to a student earlier in a coaching session, I am certainly not the brightest bulb of this bunch. I'm certainly not the sharpest tool in the shed. I don't want to talk out of pocket. A bunch of nuclear stuff going on. So LTBR, a nuclear-related play, pushing up pretty nicely. OKLO starting to push up off the 2 o'clock move here. So I'm going to put those back on our list. OKLO, SMR is another one, and then LTBR at least there. And that one's a little bit cheaper. So those three. Little funky move here. I think this is buyout related, though. It looks a little bit more interesting from earlier, but flattened out, though, afterwards. Keep it going. So RAPT Raptor, RAPT Therapeutics. Decent enough book. I don't know, a little spotty graph. Another one I'll even come back to. Normally, before a holiday weekend and even afterwards, you're not going to expect to see as strong of a market. So if we get one, great. Even if we don't have a great market, if there's a couple stocks that pop, that's awesome. But you want to focus on the ones that look like the best. So the nuclear trades we like a lot. That GameStop trade we like a lot. This would be interesting if the order book was more liquid. So we'll pass there. This is nuclear related. So nuclear slash like uranium based stocks. You got UEC, you got quadruple U, all about you, as I like to say. CCJ is the more expensive uranium stock. All of those are going up as well. So I'll add them. Looking good. VVPR, not a spotty graph. MVST just more flat now. This had a great run earlier, right off 380, a retest of resistance here. Pretty clean. I mean, for the most part, one little nip and then pushed back over afterwards and ran pretty well. ASPI, definitely a stock I said to keep your eye on, not to lose sight of. So I don't want to lose sight of it here. It just pushed above $9 a moment ago and came back down. Now you have about 43,000 shares sitting on the ask here. So just check out the long-term chart. This looks as good as any, right? Look at that graph. So I'll add it. ASPI, even if not a day trade, this could be a good swing trade consideration, just for when it breaks all-time highs. Not nuclear, not uranium, but quantum, at least another hot sector. QUBT, QBTS not looking as good today. I mean, it's on the long-term graph looking incredible, but as a day trade for right now, I don't have a great need for those. If anything, the QUBT is probably the one today that has the most spring to it, but they're not really looking that great now at this point. All right, so that pretty much just about wraps it up here, folks. If anything else looks good on the gainer side here, let me know. Type it in the chat. Ex-US steel up over 8%. This is actually pushing up pretty well. Interesting. I don't know if this came off that same type of news with Trump signing some executive orders, but you know what? I like it. I'll put this on our list here. US steel, and I don't know, maybe UVXY if the market's tanked. Nah, it's not looking that great. All right, that's all right though. We'll hop over to the loser side here, seeing if there's anything looking just as good, if not better. I get to my loser side here. What happened to my panel? Oh, right there. Okay, that threw me for a loop. All right, hopping over to the loser side here. Let's see if there's anything looking good as a short, maybe even as a dead cat bounce. Oh man, I gotta say on social media here, I'm gonna just make mention of this in a moment. Decker, I took a tiny short on this. Just I'm gonna get out before class. This is just hoping for a larger drop off at this point. Didn't get it, so good setup. Just not going anywhere now. A lot of the stocks that ran from the last week or two or three, dropping off a little bit today. Pony, the ASST trade, MLGO from yesterday. I'll tell you, I mean, not much that really stands out. Where's that Weeble stock though? There it is. All right. So inside our live trading room, I was making mention of this that back a month or so ago, stock Celsius. There's this guy on social media that was hyping the stock up. Oh, you got to buy, you got to buy it. I know what I'm doing. It's going to pump up. Once it broke below this, it was on a free fall, and he kept kind of leading on his hundreds of thousands of followers to just buy, 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 and it made one squeeze up. I did it in two trades. I ended up taking a small loss in one attempt, and then I nailed it. So I'm the type of guy that I'm going to move on to another trade if it's not working out. GameStop, I tried back in December, January, started off good, didn't work out afterwards. You move on. Unfortunately, the same guy that was pumping up Celsius for as long as he has been pumping up Weeble, at least at this point, for a little while. And I think like yesterday, he was like, yeah, I bought more. It's like, I don't root against the guy, but I know that this person has been like diligently just sucking people into these trades. And he's doing it only for engagement to get like the clicks, the views, the followers. That's what he cares about. You can monetize off that. So point being, you got to learn how to trade the markets yourself. You can't just go off of someone's word. even myself, when I say, hey, like, look at this stock, look at this level, I think there's a good chance for it to make a breakout. Yes, but you need to go through our classes to understand why I'm saying that, though, right? You got to learn. So right now, I'm not like rooting against Weeble, but it's just not surprising here to see it down after that guy was talking about it. Kind of history repeating itself. But yeah, you got to learn before you could earn, and you definitely can't trust anonymous accounts on social media. All right, folks. Let me know if anything else is looking good here from your side because I don't really see too much. Did I mention NNE? Yeah, that one just doesn't have a good order book later. Rather focus on something with like a lot more volume on the order book, better spread. URA from Bill and ETF. That's interesting. Uranium ETF. Good to know. I mean, it's good to know. I don't know if I'll be trading it, but at least this has the spread and a little resistance even showing here at 32. All right. So hey, listen, as long as it has good order book, good spread, we just covered that in class earlier today as well, back in the phase one course. From Benzinga Pro, just before we finish up, LUCD. Nah, this is a little too slow. Too bad. What else we got? Nope. Nope. All right. When I'm getting stocks looking like this, that is my cue to finish up. So again, folks, keep in mind we have the phase one course concluding today. Lesson number 8 lined up for the month of May. So if you're a new student, make sure that you start from the very top of our classes. Otherwise, you're going to be a bit lost as far as what we're discussing. So there are certain expectations that we have for students to go through, like the curriculum in order. We'll talk about more charting aspect here, but we're going to go a little bit into shorting this class. Talk about the cyber clock, how that relates into my decision to short a stock or to follow a trade in the morning as far as a short goes. I was working with a couple of students in the one-on-one coaching program today discussing like that Decker trade, I keep thinking mixing it up with Nike. I don't know why. Apple, with Apple, and the drop off that came out earlier today with the tariff stuff. But yeah, I mean, we'll cover those trades heading into class later on this afternoon. So I look forward to it. If you're not joining us in class, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy Memorial Day weekend coming up. Again, my gratitude to any of our members, current or former, either way, just in armed forces, military, any of the branches, just protecting our nation. But with that in mind, though, folks, otherwise we'll be back just coming up inside our live trading room in just a few minutes.